Jake!
What? I'm coming. I gotta save the dude. Ah.
No planes! Never planes!
Wait, why can't Jake the dog turn into aeroplanes? He can turn into anything else you could imagine, but aeroplanes are a big issue? I will tell you the reason why, but it may ruin a large part of the show for you. You have been warned. Life and times. Margaret was pregnant with Jermaine when Joshua got impregnated by an alien, bursting from his head, giving birth to a singing and dancing Jake.
Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mommy. It's so nice to be here with you now.
Clearly born with his powers intact. Now we'll circle back to those powers later. For now, all you need to know is that Jake seems to be able to do basically anything. And he immediately turned to a life of crime, doing heists with a crew and a friend called Tiffany. Before, Jake's parents adopt a baby human named Finn, and Jake turns to a life of do-goodery.
You have the right to remain busted.
Together with Finn, they grow up having all sorts of adventures, having fun times here, there, and everywhere, defeating a kingdom, win a war, do a wish and get an ancient psychic tandem war elephant. And on top of all those awesome things, Jake even has a longtime girlfriend, Lady Rainicorn, which he eventually impregnates.
I am pregnant!
I'm puppies?
That's right, she gives birth to Rainicorn dog puppy hybrids, the little Rainer pups, the little puppicorns.
Pretty cute.
And Jake was a good dad to the pups, but they just grow up so fast.
I age fast, remember? I'm 22.
Right. I keep forgetting maths.
In his life, Jake made plenty of amazing, impressive, and cosmic friends, including the almighty Prismo, a wish lord, and dream of an old man who died and used a time travel loophole to sacrifice a version of Jake to sleep forever to recreate Prismo.
Oh, dang, I'm back.
But at least our Jake survived. Well, throughout the show, Jake predicted his death multiple times. A whole little montage reel of Jake predicting his own death.
Dig me a hole, then. Actually, 2 holes. One for my guts and one for my face. Because when I die, my guts are gonna blow out of my face. Finn, when we wake up in the 9th dead world, promise me you'll listen for this sound.
What?
Just that there's a lot of dead people there, we might get separated. I'll be the one going. When I die, my individual Earth consciousness is gonna go all over everywhere while Glob tallies my deeds.
What?
I'm gonna be all around you. In your nose and your dreams and socks. I'll be a part of you and your Earth mind. It's gonna be great.
And in the end, he did eventually die. And he ascended to the 50th dead world, a place of peace and euphoria. Think of it as the equivalent of heaven. The powers. Jake the dog might seem like a fun, silly, stretchy, jiggly little guy, but what's really going on here?
This don't look like magic to you?
It looks like a mutation.
Boring.
There's lots of boring answers, like, oh, he's part alien, and that's why.
Man, it's crazy to think I was born here, in this alley. Popped right out of my dad's head for some reason.
But we can do better than that. Now, we need to break down his powers, starting with stretching. Jake can stretch and grow really big. He can change shape and do all sorts of stretchy stuff. Throughout the entirety of the show, they heavily imply that Jake's main power is stretching.
Stop it.
But how far can Jake stretch? In the episode The Limit, Jake, Finn, and some hot dog knights have to solve a labyrinth. Jake uses his stretching powers to keep track of the entrance. Jake stretches out so far that he reaches the limit, a point that he cannot stretch an inch further. Not at all, not possible.
Don't stretch!
Stretch! You stretch good!
Jake! Woo! All right.
So the hot dog knights cheer his name, and this gives additional motivation to stretch past the limit.
Jake! Yeah!
The more they cheer, the further past the limit he is able to stretch.
That's it, I'm dead.
Interesting. Keep that in mind. Moving on, shape-shifting, a more advanced form of stretching. It goes so far beyond just stretching that it deserves its own category and evaluation. In the episode, Candy Streets, Lumpy Space Princess calls Finn and Jake to help solve a crime. They have to investigate all over the Candy Kingdom.
I want to see a lawyer.
There, I'll handle this, Pete. You're upsetting my client. Just look at that face. That constitutes harassment, so give him some space.
Don't worry, buddy. I got this case.
But throughout the entirety of the episode, Jake keeps transforming into cop stuff. He even says,
What the? Jake.
I really like turning into cop stuff. I literally can't stop turning into cop stuff.
Jake literally cannot stop turning into cop stuff. In this episode, he will take every and any opportunity to transform into more cop stuff.
Oh, dude.
I told you, I have a problem. I can't stop.
Okay, keep that in mind too. Moving on. Identity shifting. In the show, there's lots of examples of Jake stretching up a new being or creature.
Greetings, Flame King. My final gift is your favorite thing in the world.
A koala bear?
Yes.
Eucalyptus! Eucalyptus!
The best example for this would be the episode Everything's Jake. Magic Man injects Jake with a mysterious syringe, and he shrinks down inside himself into a mini city that's made out of him, and all the people are made out of him too. And Jake has a whole adventure with his best friend Goose.
Your best friend, Goose.
Oh, of course. Goose.
And Jake and Goose have one of their classic adventures, full of an assortment of unique characters.
How you doing, Jake?
Good, man. Good.
Mr. Jake, the mayor wants to see you straight away.
Hello, Jake. Thanks for making it.
Okay.
Jake, we want to perform some tests on you.
I want to go with you, son.
I'm sorry, Dad. You can't. It's too dangerous. Your mind is unprepared.
Honestly, just insane stuff. By the end of the adventure, his time with Goose was so real that it messed Jake up.
Go.
But what if Eric Adam Kimson is right? What if you and all the J-peeps disappear and I can't bring you back?
Crazy stuff. Just moving on. Strength shifting. In the show, we see Jake is able to change how strong he is moment to moment, depending on his mood, like that time when he was feeling sick and he was too weak to lift a blanket, all the way through to that time when Meow poisoned him with enough toxin to take down 50 dogs. And what does Jake do?
Dog liver times 51.
How you feeling, dude?
Big liver! Big liver! Yeah!
Amazing. Now, my favorite example of strength shifting comes from the episode Who Would Win? Finn wants to fight Jake to see who would win, but Jake won't take it serious. So Finn breaks Jake's video game, and suddenly Jake takes things too serious.
I'm gonna break every bone in your body, then heal you later with that magical goo we got from the Cyclops' eye.
Ouch.
Apologize.
Never. Yeah.
I'm gonna turn up the juice.
And I'm gonna drink it. Yeah.
My little face. Ow, dude.
And Jake bashes Finn around for a while, and it's just a great episode. Wow, moving on. Color shifting. Most people don't realize that Jake has camouflage abilities and can change his own color, but he can. In the episode Abstract, Jake is stuck in blue monster form due to previous events, and he has to go in the dreamscape and meet up with his brother Jermaine, who helps him gain new perspective and self-image, which helps Jake return to his normal yellow dog self.
Wow, you really understand my art.
Oh, I totally don't understand anything.
It's true, Jake doesn't understand anything, certainly not how his powers truly work, but I swear we are getting close to understanding everything. Moving on, dream shifting. There's no denying Jake has amazing control over dreams, using dreams to communicate with his brother Jermaine, seeing the cosmic owl in dreams. Even in the finale, he shows extreme control over the dreamscape.
Yeah, man. You can basically do anything in dreams.
And the craziest example, of course, is in the episode, Is That You?
Prismo, we love you forever our dreams. Prismo, we love you forever our dreams. Prismo, we love you forever our dreams. Pickle-rama, 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 pickle-rama. Finale!
Woof! What was that?
Quick, to bed. This has to be the last thing we think about. Yep. Okay, dream.
Jake literally dreamed up Prismo. We cannot forget that Jake dreamed up a Wishmaster. This will come up again later. Moving on. Reality shifting. This dirty little DOG can actually bend reality. You may not believe me, but open your eye and you will see. In the episode, A Rainy Day Daydream, it's raining knives. So Jake gets bored and decides to imagine the floor is lava.
Jake! What the hey?
I was just playing around with my imagination. And then everything got intense.
It's like whatever you imagine becomes real. That's bananas!
That's more than just bananas. That is a paradigm-shifting realization that changes the entire context of everything we've discussed so far. Think about it. Why was Jake able to stretch further than the limit when they chanted his name? Because he imagined he could. Why couldn't Jake literally stop turning into cop stuff? Because imagining being in a cop show is so much fun. Why is Jake able to change color anytime he wants, but he's always just a yellow dog? Because he imagines that he is. That's his mental image of himself. Why was Jake able to dream up Prismo? Because he imagined he could. It's a chicken and egg situation, where Jake is the egg and Prismo is the chicken. Or maybe Jake's the chicken and Prismo's the egg. That's not the point. Look, if this is all sounding crazy to you right now, you're not wrong. But I'm not wrong either. The implications of Jake's imagination powers get so insane, I could spend all of part 3 talking about this. The Princess. At this point, you're probably asking yourself some questions like, wait, what happened? And how is a princess involved? And do I smell toast? Well, don't worry. In this one, I'm gonna let you decide who's Jake's princess. Could it be Princess Rainicorn, Princess Finn, or Princess Prismo? Lady Rainicorn is an obvious choice. She's female, she's Jake's long-term girlfriend, and she did have his babies. But she is also fiercely independent, meaning she doesn't need to do any real adventures with Jake, and doesn't have much effect on his mind or imagination. Princess Finn, on the other hand, is a bit more of a tricky one, frequently playing the damsel in distress character in Jake's life. Finn also tries to play moral compass for Jake and keep him on the straight and narrow. If you were to ask Tiffany, he might say,
I was friends with Jake, then some baritone herb stole him away from me.
I didn't steal him. We're
When that Snow White wiener dog is finally dead, Jake will be devastated. He'll need a shoulder to cry, whiny Finn-style tears on, and that shoulder will be mine, Tiffany's! Then I can get busy with undoing your cheesy influence, plus more! With my help, Jake will become the criminal juggernaut he was always meant to be. We won't just be robbing banks anymore, we'll be robbing the actual banks. The whole banks. You get it? We're gonna steal actual whole buildings.
Yeah, I get it.
Don't tell me we're not so different, okay? We're opposites, you and me. Oil and goody-goody Snow White baby vanilla bean mitten water. Go Tiffany!
He clearly blames Finn for holding Jake back from his true crime potential. But what if the imagination thing is true? Then his potential could be unlimited. So if I'm gonna make a claim like that, I really should go ahead and finish proving this imagination thing, huh? In the episode, Dark Purple. Every month for 1,000 years, Super Porp has been delivered to vending machines around Ooh.
Enjoy Super Porp! I love you, Cheryl.
When Marceline and Finn notice this is suspicious, Jake dismisses the entire thing.
Okay, listen. Okay, we could go track down the mysterious source of Super Porp, do up a for-real quest, end up fighting some big soda computer god baby or whatever. We totally could. But Super Porp is good. So why question this good thing, man? Why?
Yeah, okay.
The day Jake imagines this adventure, Susan Strong lives it. Her and the girls break into the Super Porp factory and have to have a fight with some big soda computer god baby or whatever, and then they destroy the factory. So a month later, when Jake is waiting for more Super Porp, he has this little scene.
All right, well, it's 1 month later. Ah, yeah, here it comes.
Enjoy Super Porp!
I jinxed that!
Yep, he jinxed it by imagining the big boss fight that very day it happens. And if that doesn't convince you that his imagination is bleeding into real life, well then let's take a look at the episode, Ocean of Fear. Finn realizes that he is scared of the ocean, and he asks Jake to help him overcome this fear. They decide they'll get started first thing in the morning.
Finn. Hey, Finn, wake up.
Morning, Jake.
Ready for me to help you get over your ocean fear?
Yeah, man.
Cool, but I can only do this if you ask me.
I'm asking.
Then get ready for my 3-step plan. Watch your troubles melt away with step 1.
Ah! Jake, are you crazy? This is not an okay thing to do.
Hey, come on. The ocean is your friend. And you got friends all around you right now. Miles and miles of friends.
Wait, rewind, look at that. Jake recreates the top part of the treehouse in the middle of the ocean, overnight, with no prep time or forewarning. The only way that Jake was able to achieve such an incredible feat is through his imagination power. He imagined he could do it, and it was that simple. It's done. And if that still doesn't convince you, let's talk about the episode Normal Man, where Jake gets tired climbing Wild Trap Mountain.
There's a top.
Jake, it's me.
Ooh. Ah, my eyes! Sorry.
And when it comes time to rescue a guy, he can't turn into a plane. Now you could say, well, he was just tired, he got tired, that's why. But really, he can't imagine a functioning plane. Look, he sees cars and boats all over Ooh. He can easily imagine up a bunch of cars. But imagining a functioning plane? Planes haven't flown over Ooh since the Mushroom War. Sure, there's downed planes everywhere. It's easier to imagine what a plane looks like, but to imagine a functioning one, Jake literally cannot do it. And now you could say, well, maybe Jake just can't fly. Well, let's see. He can fly when he smells sentient sandwich. He can fly through the sky with the Ice King. You could say, well, maybe he's just stretching from one side to the other. But look right here, in the finale, Jake picks up Finn and stretches off into the sky, and he twirls around, zigs and zags, takes his feet off the ground. So that is flying for a moment just there. So when Jake imagines he can fly, he definitely can. Confirmed. So circling back to how much influence does Finn have in Jake's life? Well, quite a lot, because if Jake's imagination can influence the real world, then he must be mentally holding himself together all the time. What would happen if Jake mentally snapped? In the episode Gut Grinder, various towns around Ooh are robbed by a mysterious monster, and when Finn and Jake come to arrive, they say,
Wait, what happened?
The Gut Grinder! Whoa, no. He's not the gut grinder. He's my friend.
We saw the gut grinder, and he looks exactly like him.
That's ridiculous.
But Finn doesn't believe that Jake is the gut grinder.
Your friend is the gut grinder!
No!
You are under arrest for stealing our gold!
But in the end, Jake imagines that he is the gut grinder.
I belong behind bars. Look at the evidence. I really am the gut grinder. And I want gold!
He actually becomes the gut grinder.
Woohoo! Yeah, we got him. Thanks for saving me, Jake.
I'm not Jake. I'm the gut grinder. Now give me that gold tooth.
What? Jake? Whoa! Yeah, what? Whoa!
Now give me that tooth.
If I give you the stupid tooth, will you stop being a crazy jerk? What the? Jake? You never turn into a monster when I want you to. It's always, not now, Finn. I have a headache.
So Jake claims he gets a headache anytime Finn asks him to turn into a giant monster. Which makes sense. If Jake is holding himself together with his mind, he doesn't really want to be turning into a giant monster too often. Maybe when people are in danger, like that time Susan Strong defeated half of the kingdom kidnapping Finn, and Jake just went nuts.
Jake, don't smush her!
I think I'm gonna smush her, man.
No, we need a finger, not a thumb. Finesse, boy!
So clearly Finn does play an important role in keeping Jake sane and in control of himself. Together they clearly make a very powerful and wholesome team. So, if you thought we were all done and wrapping up here, then you forgot about Princess Prismo!
Oh, dang, I'm back.
So this sneaky, cheeky, time-looping astro-anomaly needs a deeper explanation, starting with the Enchiridion, an ancient book predating the Mushroom War. It has the power to open the portal to Prismo's time room, and even access the entire multiverse. So if you were to ask Bucko...
Hello, my name is Bucko. What you see here is a map of the multiverse. It shows all the known dimensions and the links between each of them. This is the dimension that contains the universe in which we currently reside.
Enhance. Make it stop.
Anyway, at the center of the multiverse is a dimension called the Time Room, believed to be the quasi-corporeal dwelling place of the almighty Prismo. The Time Room is a single dimension that exists outside of time. The Time Room produces the time waves that are experienced by other dimensions. Some dimensions have permanent links that allow travel to and fro. Others become linked temporarily by naturally forming wormholes, and others can become linked artificially by magical portals, torn open by items of great power. Once the last gem is inserted into the Enchiridion, it will have the power to create a portal to any dimension in the multiverse. An activated portal creates a time dilation in which either end of the portal experiences a temporal synchronization, allowing for the safe passage of particles through a non-local region of space-time.
So Prismo's magic time room is the single dimension outside of time, and it is the very source of time for all other dimensions. This may explain why Prismo can do time loop stuff so casually, and where my theory was going this entire time. See, I think Prismo created the Enchiridion, and I think Prismo is Old Man Jake Prismo, and that's it. There never was an original Old Man Prismo. That was just Old Man Jake as Old Man Prismo. Prismo exists outside of time. He can loop that. He does casually all the time. So as far as I'm concerned, Prismo created Jake as much as Jake created Prismo.
It's fate.
This would make Jake essentially the most powerful being in the universe. So what if Eric Adamkinson was right back when he said,
I believe that Jake is an extra-dimensional being, a glob, if you will, whose psychic field holds our world together.
yeah, Jake might not just be holding himself together, he might be holding all of reality together all the time. And as if that wasn't crazy enough, I suspect that he imagined up some of the characters that we have seen in the show, most specifically Party God.
What?
Yo, he's mad suspicious, with god powers that are ill-defined and no real purpose to exist within this universe. I mean, the other gods make sense. God of order, God of chaos, guardian of dreams, father time. But then, Party God. It just doesn't fit the theme. And his first introduction was crazy suspicious.
How'd I even get up here?
You blacked out after laughing so hard at your own jokes. You are off the hook. So we brought you to the Cloud Kingdom to party with the Party God.
Whoa! Who's the Party God?
I am the Party God.
Oh.
Jake, you have won my favor for being a completely off-the-hook party dog. And because your gut waves please me so, I will grant you one wish. What do you want most in the world?
What do I want most? What do I want most in the world? Well, I wish Finn would stop leaving his dirty... Finn! I was on his trail, and then I got distracted. What's wrong with my brain? Cinnamon Bun was right. I can't focus on nothing. Party God, I wish that I could focus on finding my friend Finn.
Then your wish is mine.
Wait. Is there some kind of catch?
Yes, you got me. To grant your wish, I will have to fill you with the energy of 1,000 partying demons. You will become so overloaded with party energy that you'll demolish everything in your path.
Must find Finn! Must party forever!
The moment Jake meets Party God, he's already offering one free wish with strings attached. Sounds a lot like Prismo to me. Prismo even said,
"Dude, look, I like you, so you should know my wishes always got an ironic twist to them. It's like a monkey's paw kind of thing."
What?
You just gotta be really specific. Say your wish is, I wish for a back rub. Who's gonna give it to you? A dirty man? A bear? And where does this masseuse come from? Do I zap some guy away from his family dinner? Leave some kid traumatized? Mom, where did Dad go? I don't know, son. He just disappeared from the table. Sorry. You see, Jake, there's rules to this stuff. Wishing an event to be changes elements before and after it. Memories will be destroyed. Babies will not be born. Potential worlds could be evaporated by your wish.
Ew. So obviously wishes are really powerful and dramatic, which makes it so much more suspicious how many wishes you could actually get in this world. A wish from Prismo, a wish from Party God, a wish from a mud snake at the end of a labyrinth. You can get a demonic wishing eye and go meet Wishy.
Hello, Ice King.
Hello, Wishy!
What do you like to wish for?
I wish to go to blah!
You know them.
Whoa. Why don't you just use that thing all the time?
Oh, it takes a piece of your soul each time you use it.
And if you're lucky, you could even get your hands on a thought cannon wand.
This wand is crazy powerful, right? It's a thought cannon. It makes anything that you think of turn real.
Up, please.
So it's too strong, so we're burying it for safety.
I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd use that cannon and imagine a hole.
Jake, remember what they say about absolutely power.
I'm tired of your wisdom, BMO. Now watch and learn. Yeah, okay, my name's Jake, and I'm gonna take this magic thought cannon, and I'm gonna think I want a hole to bury this thought cannon in, and bobble bobble, Jake gets a hole in which a thought cannon may be buried.
What if for a split second you think of something else?
Nope, my brain's my hands. Whoops. Looks like I was thinking about a sandwich.
So with wish magic as powerful as Prismo said, it's obvious that he has to contain the multiverse when wishes go awry. That's part of his job. He mentions that he's got a boss and a job.
Ice Finn is using his world's Ankyridian to build a portal to the multiverse. We literally do not know what will happen if he succeeds, but it could be catastrophic to the architecture of these realities. Now, if that happens, my boss, let me repeat that, my boss will hold me responsible. And by proxy, y'all both will be in the dip too.
Why not just bloop bloop it all better?
Something there is dampening my powers. I am losing my picks over this, Biz.
His boss? Who's that?
Cosmic Owl was appointed a job too.
Look, I don't think you were put in charge of prophetic dreams so you could meet ladies.
Who cares? I'm in love.
What am I even worried about?
So who could be the big boss of Prismo and the Cosmic Owl? Other than Jake.
This is crazy.
No, I'm serious. Do you remember when Darren, the ancient sleeper, was summoned up by Marja, the Sky Witch, to do her Donk Up the Candy Kingdom plan?
That's not my plan exactly, but you'll be fine. I promise.
I promise as well to deliver destruction so thorough that all realities are affected.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
All realities.
Hey, we'll talk about it.
So let's talk about this. If Darren can destroy things across all realities, then he is a multiversal threat. Which means that Prismo would have intervened if Darren had Jake in his sights. Because if Jake got destroyed across all realities, there would be no more Prismo and no more realities. So, even though Darren was an easy defeat and not a big threat,
yeah, right.
There are countless threats, so we've always got to be careful. Just
in case Ooh goes straight up dong bongles. Cause, like, confidentially, there's a lot of ways that could happen.
With so many ways for Ooh to go boom in the multiverse, you might expect Prismo to have his hands full constantly. But no, because he can manipulate time and he's almighty. At least that's what Bucko said.
The Time Room, believed to be the quasi-corporeal dwelling place of the almighty Prismo.
But hang on a moment, because if Prismo really is almighty, the most powerful being ever, controller of time and the center of the entire multiverse, then there is one last, very suspicious thing left for us to address here. Remember back when Prismo said,
something there is dampening my powers. I am losing my picks over this, Biz.
Well, I think that since every other universe in the multiverse has a happy, healthy, functioning version of Jake, except for Farm World, the only difference in Farm World is that Jake got possessed by the Lynch and turned into a horrible monster that's definitely no longer Jake anymore. So that's the reason why Prismo's powers are dampened there. Jake's existence is the cause of the existence for Prismo, the existence of the Cosmic Owl, the Party God, and more. The most nightmarish things in the show happen when Jake loses his sanity. Nightmares beyond what we can recover, living rent-free in our heads forever.
Free deer!
So remember, if you ever start to feel insane, like there's a worm in your brain, and things aren't the same, and there's knives in the rain, then just do what Jake the dog would do, and eat a sandwich.
I got you, baby. That was so good.